Kolchak, The Night Stalker, the complete series released by Kino Lorber Home Video. And I finally got a copy of this Blu-ray, and it's got all 20 episodes of the original run from the series, 1974. I believe in 1975 it ran. And there were 2 TV movies of the week, The Night Stalker, which was a massive ratings hit. Broke all records when it came out in 71. Incredible story about an intrepid newspaper reporter, Carl Kolchak, played by Darren McGavin, discovering that a vampire is murdering women in Las Vegas, and he tries to speak truth to power, but nobody listens until it's too late. And there was a sequel, The Night Strangler, which is good, and then they had the TV series. The TV series ran to very little viewership. The success of the TV movies didn't carry over to a weekly series. And at first, I myself was far too young to watch the series in 74, but when it was carried as part of CBS Late Night, which was, or CBS Late Movie, they would call it the Late Movie, and they would run TV shows and movies, but a lot of TV shows, like they ran McCloud and they ran McMillan and Wife. And on Friday nights, you had a really cool double feature. And I'm going to go, not so much talk about the series as much as I want to talk about some of my memories of watching The Night Stalker over the years. But if you do want to learn a lot about the series, please check out the book by Mark Dawidziak on the making of the movies and the series and the legacy. That legacy, in my opinion, got a huge, well, it's more than just my opinion, I think it's a fact, that when CBS started running The Night Stalker on Friday nights, and I believe it was around 12:30, 12-ish or whatever, it was the block of the Avengers, not the Marvel Avengers, but Diana Rigg and Patrick Macnee in the British Avengers series. That came on first, and that was really cool. I really enjoyed that, and I could talk a lot about that. After that show ended, The Night Stalker would air, and it drew, I think it was far more successful on Friday nights in reruns than it ever was when it aired originally as a series. And the fact that it played for several years on CBS on those Friday nights in reruns, it's because people were watching it. If nobody was watching it, they would have yanked it. And it gained, I think, a greater cult following in those days. And I remember being a little kid and looking in the TV guide. And the TV guide was generally sparse. And it just mentioned Friday night TV show, Night Stalker, brief blurb, when a cruise ship goes on its final voyage, it's stalked by a werewolf, and you're like, what? And I didn't watch the show. I was a little bit still a little young, and I would read the descriptions of the episodes, and you had zombies, Jack the Ripper, and vampires, and all that. And then one night I just happened to stay up. I was a little older, and caught it at midnight. Caught the Avengers, great series. Caught The Night Stalker. And I believe the first one I saw was actually the very first episode of the weekly series, and it was The Ripper, featuring a fairly meh story with Jack the Ripper. The next week they had the second episode, which was Zombie. Zombie was awesome. It's scary, it's freaky, it's creepy, it's perfect. And I watched every episode, almost every. I missed a couple here or there, but caught them later in life. And it was great. It was just wonderful memories. And one of my fondest memories was, and I didn't have a VCR, was I watched the Avengers, stayed up, watched The Night Stalker, stayed up, and then you had Taste the Blood of Dracula, which is my favorite of the Hammer Dracula films. Maybe Dracula has risen from the grave, may edge it. I don't know. It's one of those two is my favorite. And I had to stay up until like 4 a.m. because after watching these 2 episodes, then Taste the Blood of Dracula came on for 2 hours. So I was up to like 3:30 watching those, and then just passing out when they went off the air. And then Kolchak disappeared. It disappeared from television, and which is what happened. And other than getting a VHS tape here or there from a fellow fan, there was no way to see a Kolchak episode. And then they popped up again on the original version of Sci-Fi, the Sci-Fi channel. And it was really, really cool to get a chance to see the episodes on TV airing again and again and again. And what made it even more awesome, this would be about 94, 95-ish, they interviewed the makers of the series. They interviewed McGavin. They had some really wonderful original material, bumper material, to hype the show to fans. That was back when the Sci-Fi Channel was something special. Same with the History Channel, same with American Movie Classics, same with A&E. Now today it's, you might as well go back to the way it was, 50 years ago, Channel 2, Channel 3, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 6, because why even give them categories if everything's reality TV or cut from the same mold? And I am very happy that I recorded a lot of VHS of the Sci-Fi Channel and some early cable in the 90s and the 80s, a little bit from the 80s, because it's just not as cool as it is today. It's kind of like mundane, and then you got streaming, which further takes the edge off of it. But now I'm getting a little sidetracked. I don't want to get too sidetracked. Kolchak, after those Sci-Fi airings, they kind of, about 10 or 15 or so many years went by, and nobody really, the series kind of faded again. And then it popped up on MeTV, and MeTV had it at midnight. I think it's still airing at midnight. I don't have cable right now. And I used to watch it in New Jersey, and I'd check it out, and I'd get to see the episodes over and over again. Well, it'd been like maybe a 10-year gap since I'd seen them, longer than 10 years, maybe 15. And what was cool, no, it was more like 25 years. What am I talking about? And what was really cool about it was because I had seen the episodes, I'd seen them once, and they rerun after a while, you kind of know what's happening. But I would go on Facebook sometimes, and people would live stream and live comment on the episodes as they'd air, and it would be a lot of fun on some of these Facebook groups where you could chill and have a little bit of fun remembering the show and talking about your personal recollections as the show unfolded. Yes, that's very, very 2022, 2023, and going into 2024, that's how we enjoy entertainment today. It's a different vibe than it was when I saw them in 1980. But no, now, of course, you have the Blu-rays where you get to watch them uncut with director commentary and all those fun things. Kolchak was a great series. Very formula-driven, became Monster of the Week. Some episodes were kind of, like they're kind of flat because it was like, let's come up with a monster, yada, yada, yada. And monster kills people, Kolchak searches for it, finds out how to kill it, discovers it's a monster, finds out how you defeat it, and defeats it. And some episodes like Vampire, the Zombie, like I had mentioned, they were really great. Other episodes like Mr. Ring were really good. Some of them, like the werewolf episode, is really stupid, but it's fun stupid. And then you had some boring ones here and there, like Primal Scream, that was, about ape man thaws out a block of ice and, goes to kill people. Okay, cool. Whatever. But, not every series has great episodes. What are you going to do? But the series faded because it actually ended early. It was supposed to have 22 episodes, but McGavin pulled the plug. It's too much work, too little reward, and he was unhappy with the scripts. He thought, again, he didn't like the Monster of the Week formula. But originally they were going to continue the series as TV movies of the week, something like 3 or 4 a year, which would have been cool, and quality would have been better, but that's not where they went. They went in the direction of a weekly series. And I have a lot of great memories. It was a lot of fun. It was great watching them the first time as a little kid, and it was great watching them on the Sci-Fi Channel. It was great watching them on MeTV, and it was cool collecting them here and there when you could get a VHS copy from somebody who had one. And this was, of course, when, Kolchak was completely off the air and nobody was watching episodes of Kolchak the Night Stalker. At least not on TV. And now it's really cool. It's been rediscovered again, and you can follow the Facebook pages and the social media pages and the websites and the blogs and all the other cool things, man. And you know, I am very happy. I'm going to dive into this. I'm going to try to enjoy it as much as I can, which means to say I'm going to try to watch it when there aren't any distractions, you know, which is, you know, a little difficult. And I want to rediscover it, like just you know, this would basically be the fourth phase where I could actually rediscover it, you know, and I'll be rediscovering it on Blu-ray in this really cool special edition with a lot of commentary from a lot of historians, and many people contributed to this. This was an influential series. It's a fun series. If you've never seen Kolchak, the Night Stalker, watch the series. You can watch it on MeTV and get the Kino Lorber Blu-ray of the original TV movie, which had a different vibe, less campy, less funny, less silly in spots. Not to say that this was a silly series. It had its moments. It had some creepy moments. But they lightened it up from the more morbid, you know, the TV movie was a little bit morbid, man. I mean, the vampire was a serial killer, basically. Folks, you know, I can't endorse this enough, probably because, like many people, it holds a special place in my heart as a truly enjoyable series from when I was younger. And I think that you'll enjoy it at any age. I mean, it might, yeah, I mean, the show's 50 years old. It's a little dated because it's from the early 70s, but I think young people would dig it. And I think that if you haven't seen the series in a long time, check out the Blu-ray or watch it on TV, or do both, because you know what? You can watch it on TV and enjoy it as it was meant to be seen, and then you can enjoy this special collector's version with all the cool bonuses and special features. As you can see, it's still in the plastic, so I haven't even opened it yet. It just arrived in the mail today, and I know what I'm going to be doing during the very slow weeks of the Christmas and New Year's holiday.